Good morning, everybody. It's MrDoTheMath here.
What's up, dog?
And today we're going to talk about a particular type of parallelogram. It's called rhombuses, right? We spent the last couple of days talking about parallelograms, and there were special things about quadrilaterals that made them parallelograms. For instance, parallelogram had opposite sides being congruent. We had two pairs of parallel lines, and we had the opposite angles being congruent. Now, rhombus is a type of parallelogram, but what makes a rhombus different is this, that it is a parallelogram with four congruent sides. Initially, a parallelogram only had two pairs. It had two pairs. The opposite sides were congruent. Now, with a rhombus, all of them are congruent. Okay? So, this next slide, we're going to look at the properties of rhombuses, and I want to highlight those slight differences between a rhombus and just a mere parallelogram. The first one is the opposite sides are parallel. We know that, right? That's what we dealt with parallelograms. Number two, all four sides are congruent. We just saw that, right? So what I need you to do is to make sure that you put a star next to all four sides being congruent. Then, for number three, the opposite angles are congruent, okay? Number four, consecutive angles are supplementary. 5, the diagonals bisect each other. 6, the alternate interior angles are congruent. These are all parallelogram properties, right? And number 7, this is new. Not only do the diagonals bisect each other, but the diagonals are perpendicular, right? So put a star next to that. 1 second. And for the last one, the corner angles are bisected. Corner angles being bisected means that that angle, even though the diagonal creates two angles there, this time when it creates the two angles, it cuts them in half. So what I'd like to do is draw a picture for all of those situations. So here's number one. Number one, the opposite sides are parallel. That's just this situation here. Parallel, 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 right? Put that next to your picture. For number two, all four sides are congruent. All four sides are congruent. Make sure you got that down. Number 3, it says the opposite angles are congruent, just like with parallelograms, right? The opposite angles are congruent. This angle is congruent to that angle. These are opposite angles. And these are opposite angles. They're congruent. Number 4, we have the consecutive angles are supplementary. You guys remember when we talked about parallelograms and I did this?
Yes.
This angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. Number 5, let's see if number 5, if this green shows up good. Does show up good?
Yeah.
Alright, number 5, the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect means that it cuts it in half. Alright, cuts it in half. I like the blue better, I'm sticking with blue. Alright, number 6, alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles is when a diagonal comes through, when a diagonal goes through the parallelogram, this alternate interior angles will be congruent to each other. 7, again, the diagonals not only bisect each other, but they are perpendicular. Perpendicular means that this angle here now is 90 degrees. And the last one, the corner angles are bisected. That means that when we have the diagonal, this angle is going to be the same as that angle, right? And because these are alternate interior angles, that's going to be the same, and that's going to be the same. So for instance, if this was 70 degrees, then this is 70 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And so that equals 140, right? And if this side is 180 degrees, what's going to be the measure of this whole angle here? 40 degrees. So that means when you bisect it, each angle here is going to be 20 apiece. That's going to be 20, and that's going to be 20. Okay? That's what's going on. So now you got 70 and 70, that's 140. You got 20 and 20, which is 40. You add those together, you get 180, supplementary. Okay? And those are your properties of a rhombus. Good.